It was a long week, a tough week when you consider we lost 2 close games. I think you said it was 7 points for the 2 losses. Obviously, we had a good showing on senior night. So you're a little disappointed that you came up short, but it's 1 or 2 possessions. Every league game is 1 or 2 possessions, and to have a chance to win under 4 minutes, we had that in both those games. We just didn't pull it out. My takeaway from the first 2 games against RIC, they got some really talented players, man. The game on the road at RIC, we were able to kind of come up with a few stops there at the end. The game at home, players are going to make plays, and a couple of their guys made more plays than we were able to make, and you see that's where the margin was so small for both games. I don't know if you can really slow down the backcourt of RIC. I think really what you try to do is just try to limit their easy uncontested shots, make them work for everything they get. It's hard to do. I understand it's really hard to do, especially when they got so much talent surrounding them around the floor, on the court. So I just think you try to junk it up to them, try to make it tough. Don't let them see anything. Good players only need to see the ball going 1 or 2 times, and then they start feeling it. So we just try to keep them asleep as long as you can and do a good job. It takes all 5 guys. When it comes to the forwards, when we're smaller, with Sinelli or Burris, and only one, either Mark or Malik, I think those guys got to make shots, and then they got to rebound on the defensive end. When we're bigger, we got to obviously rebound the ball on the defensive end and be able to kind of get some easy points in the paint, not be so perimeter reliant. I think you nailed it. I think it's execution, especially when you're losing 2 possession games. You just have a tendency to kind of throw the ball away 1 or 2 times. Maybe you get a questionable call 1 or 2 times. But you can control, for the majority, your bad shots. And when those start to pile up with your turnovers, those are the extra possessions you're trying to steal, the offensive rebounds you give up. Those are all those extra little possessions that, can be the difference at the end. And sometimes being down 2 and having to execute wouldn't even be in that situation. You might be up 5 had you just handled, those 2 or 3 possessions before that correctly. Whether it's 31-30 or 159 to 158, as long as we're the one with +1, I really don't care how the Temple's played at. I think we're built to play either way. I think we've won games where we had to kind of slow it down and grind it out. I think we've won games where it was a track meet and we played up and down. Certainly I think Rhode Island College is at an advantage when they're playing a little faster. It's more shots for those guys that are so talented. So for us, I would, in a perfect world, 73-58 Beacons. That's my perfect world. The 3 keys, if I had to give them, without giving them away too early, obviously it's conversion defense. It's got to be number 1. You got to get back. You got to limit those easy points that we talked about, those easy looks. They're getting 20+ points a game just in conversion alone. That's threes, that's dunks. Those things are daggers for you. 2, I think you got to rebound the ball on both ends. You can't afford to give up. Vazil is a double-double monster. Those offensive rebounds always lead right to Batista's hand. Would kick out to either Darby or Dang or Jacob. So I think you got to limit the rebounds on both ends. And I think, they don't play a lot of guys. So you have to kind of come at them in waves and keep coming at them and not hesitate, because I think once you get into their depth a little bit, that might be an issue for them, but, it hasn't really cost them too much this year. I just think that you got to play harder, play tougher, play smarter, and have more composure longer. And that's what winning in February is about.